I'm ready. I'm ready whenever.
Let's go.
Okay. Hey, everybody. It is Tyler Reiss here with the Buffalo Community Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 20. We're officially in adulthood for the Buffalo Community Podcast. But before we get started, you know the intro, and we'll get started right after that. It took me like 2 weeks to find something like this.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reiss and Mark Benzer.
Fade out.
Another sick fade. Another sick fade.
Well, episode 20, and we got a really fun guest today. I think you'll enjoy, if you don't already know him, getting to know him. He is the Dean of Students at St. Francis Xavier School here in Buffalo, also a Phi Ed teacher, correct?
Correct.
And I don't think we didn't set out to interview the entire class of 1999, but we're on a pretty good roll here.
Oh my gosh! Step it up, 05.
Yeah. Another great representative of the BHS class of 1999. Got with us Joel Gilmer. Thanks for coming in, Joel.
You bet.
Thank
This
you.
is exciting. I was a little nervous, but you guys keep saying, don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, just kind of winging
sweet.
it. Just winging it. So I guess we like to start out the show. Let's go back to 1999. Zoom us up today. You got an interesting story and how you got to where you are today, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, don't they say you have like 7 careers or jobs in your lifetime?
Yeah.
I think I've had maybe 10. I don't know. But yeah, I graduated in 99 and went to college at Concordia Moorhead and was up in that area as God's country, it's called. That's what I remember Lubin and Guida would call it God's country. They're from up there. Shout out to those guys. So graduated from Concordia Moorhead and got my physical education and health degree with a coaching certificate. And then right after that, moved to Duluth, Minnesota, and I worked at a children's home, Northwood Children's Home. So that was my first real job. Worked there for 4 years, and Duluth is awesome. Love Duluth. And so we try to get up there as much as we can and everything. But so Northwood Children's Home, worked with kids with behavioral and emotional different disabilities or behavior or disorders. Mm-hmm. But and I learned a lot there for kind of what I do now with teaching and coaching and stuff, just kind of having patience and also with raising a family. Like getting out of college, you're like, how the heck am I going to raise kids and make sure they don't end up in jail or in the wrong spot? And
College didn't prep me for this.
Yeah, so that first 4 years there was a good prep for a lot of things. I worked for REM South Central after that, out of Buffalo for 2 years. Again, working with adults and kids with developmental and physical disabilities. And then I worked my first teaching job I finally got at Monticello Middle School for adapted Phi Ed. And then the 2 years after that, I worked out in North Dakota driving oil and water truck. So I got to know that hard, I guess it wouldn't be hard labor because it was actually the easiest job I've ever had as far as labor goes, but staying awake and working on the road. And
Was that out in the oil fields?
Yeah, out in North Dakota. So I would be away from home for about 6-7 weeks and come home for 10 days and then repeat. So
You said that was only 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years total I was out there. Yep.
And I say only because I knew you did that, but I felt like it was 5, but 2.
Well, when you're away from home, it would seem like 5, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was, I just stuck with work. Like, there was plenty of stuff to get into and plenty of people doing, and you make a lot of money, and people spent a lot of their money right away, and I just kind of stayed in the truck and worked and saved most of my money or paid off debts, and then that's kind of how I got to be where I am now is I moved back home I think I started St. Francis in 2013, and so this will be my 8th year at St. Francis. Started out as a half-time or part-time phy-ed teacher, and then that year I taught health at the Wright Tech Center and started coaching. So I was working kind of 3 different areas, and then that end of that year I had talked to St. Francis about getting a more full-time position, and then they came up with the Dean of Students and phy-ed teacher. So that's kind of what brought me into the role of Dean of Students, and love it there. And then I also get to do my coaching at the middle school, Buffalo Community Middle School, which I love working there too. So it's a nice, really nice balance for me. I've kind of found my dream job, if you will, with getting to teach and have some of that administrative or character building stuff with the Dean of Students, and then getting to coach at the middle school.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess that would be the one question I have in terms of, I think everybody's heard the phrase or the term Dean of Students.
Yeah.
But you mentioned character building.
Yeah.
There's probably other aspects to that job. Is there behavioral issues that you're dealing with? And
so I don't have, if I had read it out, it'd probably sound different, but from what I've been doing the last 6 years. Dean of Students, it's all student relations, non-academic, pretty much, I guess would kind of boil it down. So behavioral issues, discipline issues, and then also obviously try to build in the building character issues too.
Yep.
So we started a kind of a student of the week type of thing at St. Francis. We call it the Franny Award. I believe some of the Reiss kids have been awarded the Franny certificate.
Which is posted in the Journal Press, if I'm not mistaken.
We do, yeah. We post in Journal
Please
Press.
expand on that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Just the part
On
with the
Reiss
Reiss kids.
Yeah.
Those kids are awesome and hilarious. And I'll get them their no uniform. Their no uniform passes carry over to next year. So it kind of reaches all those things. And then Alyssa Luagi and I, the principal over there, we've been really working on a discipline policy and discipline plan, and keeping things consistent and trying to get communication to kids and to parents. And so that's kind of been our goal over the last since I've started as Dean of Students, is to kind of really dial that in. So if that answers the question.
I kind of want to comment on that Franny part. Is like a kid from each grade gets one for that.
Yeah, we've kind of moved it around a little bit. It started, I think we did one a month. Geez, I'm forgetting exactly how. Or I think we did one a week for the whole school. We did that for like 2 years, I think. And then we switched up to have one per kind of 1 through K1, 2 would get one, and 3, 4, 5 would get one, 6, 7, 8 would get one. And then this last year, we moved it to a kind of once a month, and teachers would select one student from each grade once a month, and we kind of base it on, the Franny stands for faith, respect, attitude, nice, noble, integrity, and excellent. So each month we would hit, first one is F, so we'd go faith, and they'd kind of pick a kid that kind of matched up with that, and on each month. And we present the awards at Mass. This year we have Mass every Wednesday, and so at the end of Mass, Father Myers would present the award, and we felt that that's kind of really expanded or lifted up that award where all the kids get to see the other kids.
Having seen that, and when, because the kids receiving it don't know they're getting it, but having see that, and all their friends are like, oh yeah, you got it. They're super excited for all their classmates, which is really cool for me to see. Like, okay, Charlie and Sawyer each got one.
Is that where you go?
Yeah.
Ding, and you're going to put in one of those. I laughed really hard when you were doing that. I don't know what episode it was.
Yeah.
But I played it back, and I was like, Julie, look at this.
Yeah.
And it was so dumb, but it was funny.
But
I can't wait for you to do this for me. Thank you.
But I think I can totally see on how it's shaping those kids' lives of, one, it's something they're excited about, and it's being selective, and it's something you can't campaign for, and it's doing the right thing when nobody's looking, and having seen everybody else in the crowd see their friends get it, and they're generally happy for them. Yeah. That was a pretty cool proud father moment, and then just kind of proud of the students there too. So kudos to you on that.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's been a group effort, and we have we have a committee, Peacemakers Committee, that we meet once a month, and so that kind of ties in with that, and some ideas flow through that, and that's how we kind of switched it up this year with using each acronym for
Franny.
for Franny. So,
but you're also a coach.
Yeah.
What do you coach?
So I coach all at the middle school now. I coach football, and I fell into an awesome role last year with Joey Hartfield. He used to coach lacrosse, and he's a special ed teacher at the middle school. But we coached 8th grade B football, and that's a great spot for me right now. I'm loving that area, or that spot. And then middle school, 8th grade boys basketball and 8th grade girls basketball. So I've kind of moved around a little bit with basketball, just kind of depending on some coaching things, but typically it's 8th grade. And then the last couple of years I coached 8th grade softball as well. So obviously this year we didn't have softball, for school ball, but
yeah, it reminds me of that training we're in for CPR. You and I were in the same training.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Wrestling, and all we could really think about was the episode of The Office.
Yep. Staying alive.
Absolutely, it's tough to have be in that formal setting of learning CPR, and that's all you can go to, and then everybody else is like, "You're getting this, right?"
Yeah.
That was very fun.
I was just thinking about CPR the other day, how many times I've had the CPR training and never had to use it, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll pop right in whenever, but I don't want to. But, all the trainings from when you're in college to now
Sure.
as a BCMS coach, and at St. Francis, we do it once a year too, or every 2 or 3 years, whatever it is. And
Yeah, the training you hope you never have to use.
Yeah.
I
Coaching.
really thought you were going to go somewhere with there, Mark.
I had a question in my mind, and I don't remember what it was.
You're moving around like you did.
Yeah. Getting squirmy like I was about to ask a question.
It's like, I'm going to forget it. I'm going to forget it.
Forgot it.
I had a really good question.
Was it coaching related?
So you've been up to Moorhead. You've moved out in Duluth. But you've chosen to come back to Buffalo and raise your family in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Loaded question.
Yeah.
I was always, every time I left, I was always drawn back to Buffalo, whether it be friends or family. And a huge reason is my family and my wife Jilly's family. They all live in Buffalo. Her family, the Ellitsons, live just across the lake and on a farm a little outside of town. And my folks live in between Buffalo and Waverly. So most of my siblings live either in Buffalo or in the Buffalo area or within, very close. So that was a huge part of it. And then, friends that stuck around and also raising their families like you. And you had Tommy Kuzma on here, and we went to St. Francis together since kindergarten. And another something that people don't know, that I also went to St. Francis, so that was a really cool part to come back to and teach. And I got to teach with my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Wilkie, who retired last year. So
Who actually moved across the street from my parents growing up. How terrifying would that have been, going to school and then you go home and your kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
But I was way past kindergarten when she moved in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So a lot of those things, family, friends, and and I hadn't lived in the community until about 2008. I moved back from Duluth, and so I didn't, exactly know everything that there was offered. I knew I loved my experience here and my family and teachers, and so came back and started to see all those things that everybody appreciates and enjoys. And then especially once I started teaching in the community and coaching, you get the community that's here. It's just supportive, so supportive. So
Yeah. And I would say I echo a lot of that. I think growing up in this community, you certainly take it for granted.
Yeah.
But then when I don't know what there's no magic number, but when you get to a certain age and you start to appreciate things, like the schools and like the even the location of Buffalo, where I appreciate where we're not right on the freeway. We're close enough to it. Everything
Yeah.
is close enough, but
Got the lakes, the community
Yep.
of lakes around, and so
Did somebody just knock on the door?
sound like a door knock.
no. I'll let you pick up with that.
I too echo that. Just kidding. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the reasons why we really started this podcast, to be kind of Buffalo centric. I mean, look at us. I mean, you're in the community. You went far away, and well, I didn't go far away. I always kind of worked around here.
Yeah.
But I think there is just something. Buffalo has that X factor, I think.
Yeah.
It's not too big, not too small. You can kind of, wave to the people, and you generally know them or know some type of
Yep.
connection with them.
Or they'll wave back,
Yeah.
whether you know them or not.
Right. They're like, who's that? Not a clue.
No idea.
Yeah. But no, I kind of want to comment on just that small town atmosphere. Again, my kids absolutely love you. I'm going to tell two personal stories. We're driving along by your house. My kids see you mowing the lawn, and they freak out. Mr. Gilmer, he's mowing the lawn. He's mowing the lawn. And I said, well, you want to stop and wave? And you stopped and waved, and you're just a shining moment in the kids' lives of like, oh, seeing a teacher outside of school, this is weird. And
Yeah.
he mows a lawn?
Yeah.
He's like a normal person. That, and was it conferences? Emma goes, my dad's trying to grow a beard like you, Mr. Gilmer. I even put bows in it. And you look at me, that's a good start. Like, oh my goodness. I think that's great. And knowing firsthand how positive of an influence you've had on my kids and other kids at school as well.
I appreciate.
Definitely-
I'm
definitely
humbled. That's
helpful.
I love seeing the kids in the community and parents, and that's a funny part of it when you see those. Well, almost all kids, even through middle school and stuff, they kind of get a little bit weird when you see them out in public or don't know how to hold a conversation. You see them in school and you can ask them how things are going, and they'll talk to you like that. And see them out and about, or they're on their bike riding by and stopping to say hi, and it's like, wait a sec. But,
How are you with names? You greet the kids during school.
Yeah.
I mean, have you learned everybody's name every year, or you work on it?
I know every kid's name. Usually, I mean, get back to school, and it'll kind of like be a foggy remembering for
Hey, you.
a week or two. But
Shooter.
no, I take pride in getting to know every kid's name at bare minimum, and trying to get to know a little bit about their family. And if they're, I might I do make nicknames for quite a few kids. The Easy Reese's Pieces crew.
Yeah.
I throw that out there once in a while for your guys. And but yeah, that's something I try to do it, and I kind of repeat it in my head for
Sure.
Even adults. When I outside of school, I get in the habit all of a sudden I'll meet a group of 4 people, and then I'll leave and I'll say each of their name, because the more you repeat it, the more it's just kind of out of habit. Then they're like, whoa. I'm like, well,
I wish I was better at that. I'm absolutely terrible. I used to be a mailman. Now I could tell you your address. Like,
you're a
okay.
mailman. I didn't know you were a mailman.
Yeah, I was a mailman for 6 years, but it was always so creepy. Like, oh yeah, 507 Division.
Yeah.
How'd you know that? Well, I don't really want to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you because that sounds even creepier.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I was a mailman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I terrible with names, so that's a cool skill to have.
Yeah. If you weren't teaching, what do you think you'd be doing now?
It's a great question. The only thing, this is all I've wanted to do. Out of college, I wasn't ready to teach. I had a few interviews, one in St. Michael, one in Monticello. Actually had Mr. Minkler, Mark Minkler, interviewed me at St. Michael, and Jeff Sherburn interviewed me at Monticello. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't. I was too nervous, too young. I don't know. Just wasn't ready, and it bummed me out big time. But if I wouldn't, I think if I would have, I don't know what would have happened if I started that early or whatnot. But so this has kind of always been my dream, to teach, to coach, to have the connections with kids and adults, like walking into St. Francis in the summer, and I don't know, just there's a smell of a school, and it's exciting to think about when everybody comes back. And obviously in the middle of the school year, you're kind of tired and ready to go home here and there, and it's not as exciting. I mean, it's always exciting, but it's just kind of moves around throughout the year. But I think I don't know. I really like driving truck in North Dakota, and I wouldn't do it in North Dakota. But if I had to, I would maybe do that. A day to day. Not like
home every night truck.
Yeah, home every night type of trucking.
Yeah.
But I like driving the big vehicles. I do still drive school bus, so I also drive the bus for our the teams I coach. I drive the bus for too, so I get a little bit of that anyways. So
yeah,
I really hope all this just keeps working out.
Things are going pretty
play
well.
with big toys.
Yeah.
All right, kids, dodgeball.
So
That's pretty cool. How fast can you throw a dodgeball?
I've been clocked in about 92.
Not bad. Catch.
No, I've you end up my arm hurts after I throw a couple in a row.
Isn't that the truth? My goodness.
So I'll just do the old placement and I'll play with the kindergartners, so I know I can get them out easy.
Yeah. Put a little pepper on it. Well, part of the interview process here is get to know you a little bit more through maybe some obscure questions of just to kind of open up some conversation. I've got a couple picked out. Mark's got a couple picked out.
I got 350 picked out, so
I saw the list.
So let's nail it down here a
buckle
little bit. What did you believe for way too long as a child?
Whoa. Way too long. I don't want to ruin anybody's Christmas, so I'm not going to say that one.
yeah.
For why?
If any kids are watching under 10.
Yeah.
Why are you on Facebook?
Yeah, Mr. Gilmer is on the internet
far
and told
too
me
long.
that
Oh, well, maybe this one. If you owned a restaurant, what kind of food would you serve?
Oh, good one. I think I would stick with what I know with American, grill type food. I love just grilled some burgers and chicken yesterday with my brother Dom, and just burgers are good.
Yeah, they are.
Nice.
And different types of cheeseburgers or burgers and
They're so versatile.
chicken and something. It's also pretty simple. And French
And healthy.
fries.
Okay.
Oh,
Healthy.
so healthy.
Charcoal or propane?
yeah.
Charcoal. I got a acorn grill from some friends gifted us a acorn grill, a late wedding gift they called it, but I don't know if I thought he already gave us one, but I'll take it. So.
He gave you an on-time one as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So
And here's a late one as well.
yeah, so barbecue, grill food.
Very good.
I wonder what you'll get for a super late wedding gift.
Bibs.
So I guess it's funny you asked that one because where's your go-to restaurant for amazing food?
Whew. All right, go to amazing. Locally, the Norm's Pizza is awesome. I love that, the deep dish pizza. So if we're thinking pizza,
Detroit style.
deep dish, and then that cheesy bread, like we always end up ordering too much food, and it's like,
Lucky me for lunch tomorrow.
oh yeah, yeah. So Norm's there. There is, for pizza.
Yep.
I love the El Molcajete in town too, or all those Mexican restaurants in town are delicious. So we would go to do that too.
What do you order at a Mexican restaurant? This is just a spin-off. It wasn't an extra question.
One of those, usually a burrito smothered in that white cheese, the tomatoes and avocado, and we heading over there after this.
We might be.
Is that buffet still going?
Yeah. What awful movie do you just love?
I don't know if it's awful
Because you love it.
because I love it, but other people say it's not so great. Step Brothers.
I like that.
I've watched that a lot of times. That was on. Can I sometimes just throw that on when I was going to bed just to laugh myself to sleep.
There's so much room for activities.
So much more room.
So much room for activities.
I feel like that's one of those movies that took off after theaters.
I think so.
A la Napoleon Dynamite or some of these other ones were. What trend are you tired of?
Social media lately has been pretty rough. I don't know if that's a trend.
Stole my answer.
There we go. But please don't turn us off.
Don't turn us off.
Please like, share, comment, and if you can go ahead and subscribe.
If it weren't for Buffalo Community Podcast, I'd probably delete Facebook. No, I know you guys are on other streams. I don't know. Facebook's been hard to kind of sift through the crap lately.
Yeah.
Pardon my French, STFXers. Yeah. My little frannies. I think my sister and brother-in-law have stopped. I think two of my sisters stopped. I think that is most of my sisters. I have 3 sisters, but 2 out of 3 stopped doing Facebook, and I don't know. So, but there's such a convenience to it, and I love connecting with my friends that aren't in town and family. So I think I just need to re-edit my whatever you call it, so that
to say it's all bad is completely wrong.
There's some strong opinions out there, so I just kind of need to rework who's in my feed there, as they call it.
Do they call it that?
Well, I'm kind of hungry, so
we're talking about that food. You said you have some nicknames for kids. What are some nicknames you have?
Happy. College, my second day or first day of, I played football there for a couple years before my back kind of went out. But my freshman year, there 2 weeks early, and one of the coaches was like, "Happy? Anybody ever or Gilmer? Anybody ever call you Happy?" I'm like, "Nope. Well, I'm going to call you Happy." Pretty much entire college career, most of my close friends knew my name, but majority of people didn't know my name. So, like, my roommates from college, I'll see them, and once in a while, my buddy Dalen will say, "How's it going, Joel?"
And he giggles like that.
Yeah, he just looks like that.
Weird.
So Happy. I feel like in high school used my last name, so either Gil or Gilmer.
45. Anybody ever call you 45?
45 for life. That's my football number.
Let's talk about high school football.
You 99ers. All right. You guys stink so much.
So 8-0 that senior year.
Right.
I don't
remember
want to
that
talk about the
very
last
specific.
game,
right.
Because then I'll
I was
start
there.
crying.
I remember you guys got your butts kicked.
Yeah, Chris Davis ran me over on the left side. It was man-to-man. Went into Cobra. I don't want to get into it. I wonder if he's watching.
This table might get flipped over.
He's okay.
Yeah. 22-19.
Yeah, a couple. JoJo Dancer. My uncle called me that once in a while. Joey. My 2 uncles call me Joey.
Sure.
Which sounds weird from anybody but them. It's always been that.
You don't look like a Joey.
Yeah.
I mean, like definitely
Like Big Joe or
Joseph. Really.
Joseph.
Oh yeah, it's not even Joe.
Let's
It's
see.
Joseph.
Yeah,
It's
those
Joel.
are kind of my nicknames.
I'm trying to think of.
You don't have any nickname? Yeah, you. What are you talking
I'm just
about
trying to
this?
make sure he's not forgetting any. But I can't. I feel like he's. No, I think that's all I got. I think we got a good peek into what's going on at St. Francis, and really great things going on at St. Francis. It sounds like, as with all the other schools in this town.
Yeah. And, coaching, I don't know, just adding to that, just how, the word I'm looking for, just the stuff I get out of coaching and teaching is just really exciting. It's like, it's just, there's times where you're just like, awesome, I just made some kid's day, or he got something, or scored a point. Some kid, coaching different teams, you got different levels of athleticism, and just seeing a kid just pumped about that.
Do you have one situation where you thought, wow, this is what it's all about? Just one that you can come up like that.
No, I don't have a specific moment. There's just so many throughout the day where you get a kid who you kind of change a kid's perception on something, or if someone's having a rough day or maybe got picked on by somebody, and you show you kind of get down to their level and kind of their dad for that moment to protect them and stuff. Sure. So on the teaching side, and then coaching, there's just that, the different, losing gracefully and winning gracefully, both sides is it's nice when you can kind of teach that to kids and they kind of follow through on it without being reminded. So that's kind of my goal in teaching and coaching, is just build that character of, being nice, think of somebody before yourselves, whether you're winning or losing, and, be respectful. So.
Well, you said you were working in your dream job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the term you used, and I
Yeah,
think it's pretty
totally.
clear that it's more than just lip service, and that you indeed are working in your dream job, and we're lucky to have you here around town. So.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. And before I do go, I think you guys are doing awesome. We've been listening to not every single one, but quite a few, and
that wraps it up for this week's episode of the Buffalo Community Podcast.
Is that the right one? I hit the wrong one.
Oh, boom!
It worked.
That's karma
But
right there.
Back to how great we've really appreciated this podcast, and I sent you guys a message a while back about coming home from treatment for my wife, and she's not feeling good, and we're not feeling good, and we listened to the podcast on the way home. It happened to be Rusty Cats, so don't take this all the way to your awesome hair and all that. But I looked over and she's just laughing, out loud, and so was I. And
that's good.
And before that, even, and just listening to some of these, and listening to you guys, and your goal is right on. So,
well, we hope
thank
she
you.
continues to get better.
Yeah, things are going good, very good. So
there we go.
Very good.
All right. Well, for this week's episode 20 of the Buffalo Community Podcast, thanks for listening. If you can, please like and share it. If you get a kick out of it, subscribe, tell a friend about it. But for the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reiss.
Mark Benzer.
Joel Gilmer.
I thought you were going to go rattle them all off. Joel, Joey,
Joel,
Gilly,
Gilmer,
Happy.
Joey, Gilly. That was one.